It's Stephen Woodkowski from Christian Music Network, and we're here with Paul Gibbs. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great, Stephen. How are you tonight?
Great, 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 great. So
Good.
tell me about yourself.
Tell you. Oh my goodness, you jump right into it, don't you?
There you
Well,
go.
all right. Well, I'm sitting here talking to you from York, Pennsylvania, where my wife Brenda and I make our home, and of course, our studio here is here as well. I've been a musician all my life, pretty much since junior high school, going back into the late '60s. Any of your audience is old enough to remember, one of the first songs I ever learned was Last Train to Clarksville by the Monkees. Anybody? Go.
Great song. Yeah, yeah.
Great
Great
song.
song. Great song.
So yeah, I played music's never been a full-time thing for me,
Mm,
though. Pretty much self-taught guitar first, and then keyboards, organ, piano later in up into high school and beyond. I was always in a band, but it was never a full-time thing. But I was seems like I was always in a band, one band or another, and played the secular music right up through the 90s, and then uh, God got a hold of me and switched over to writing and recording Christian music, wrote a few, did cover songs, things like that, recorded a song here or there, an album here and there. I'd go out and sing at churches now and then, um, wherever, and uh, got interested in helping other people record their songs. So I started producing all of this on a kind of a part-time basis, but got busy producing songs for other people. Now, of course, I lived up in Hudson Falls, New York, in northeastern New York at the time. That's where I'm from. And but my career to go, your probably audience is probably saying, well, Paul, if you didn't do music full time, what were you doing? Well, for about 35 years, I've been a real estate appraiser. That's the day job that pays the bills. So then, make a long story real short, life changed and marriage changed. And now for the last 8 years, 8.5 years, I've been living in York, Pennsylvania with my beautiful bride, Brenda. And we still have a home up in the Glens Falls area where I'm originally from, of course. And so we go back and forth. But we spend most of our time right here in York, Pennsylvania, where she is from. So, uh, I'll stop there and catch my breath. If you
cool, 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 cool. So you got some music videos you would like to share?
I tell you what, I would love to share a video or two with
Sure. That's
with
good.
the audience. Um, let's see. What do you I've got two in studio videos that I recorded over in the last couple of years. And why don't we share one of those if we could?
Okay.
Um, let's see. I am over on. So you want me to just share my screen with everybody with you,
Yes,
Stephen?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
All
yes.
righty.
Just like that.
All
Yeah.
right. So let's see if I can share. Um,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. Where do we? Okay. You folks bear with me as I figure out where to share my screen. Where do we click for that, Stephen?
Yeah, there's I know
Uh,
there's something on the bottom here. There's yeah.
Reactions,
Oh,
record, share. Oh, share screen.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Right there. Share
Okay.
screen.
It's disabled though. You'll have to enable it for me. Can you?
Okay. Enable. Okay,
Can
sure.
you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I have one participant that can share at a time, so it's on there. So, hmm.
Okay.
So I guess I think that's where I have it as. That was,
Okay. Let me try again. No, participant is disabled. Okay.
hmm, hmm. Maybe you can enable yours at your end or yeah.
No, it doesn't look like I can.
Hmm.
Our viewers are probably saying, click this, click that. But
Yeah.
huh, let's see.
Yeah. Mhm. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Oh, person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Okay.
there we go.
All
Yeah,
right, we're going to share this one right here.
I got it now.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right.
Fabulous.
We ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this song here, Stephen, this was written by Dallas Holmes or
Okay.
Dallas Home or Holmes, I forget. He wrote
Holmes.
this Holmes, yeah. So he wrote this, I don't know, probably at least 20, maybe 30 years ago. And I heard this song recorded by an artist who sent it to me for my radio show many, many years ago. And it really jumped out at me. I thought, oh, what a beautiful song. So I went into our studio and I recorded this. It's called I've Never Seen the Righteous Forsaken, and should be on your screen now. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then we can maybe chat about it afterwards. Here
Sure.
we hopefully. Chapter 37 is the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Verse 24, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord holdeth him with his hand. And in verse 25, I have been young, and now I'm old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or their seed begging. Oh, I know you may get weary, and the times they may get rough. May not have all you want, but you'll always have enough. And when your darkest hour comes, just remember what I said. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, or their seed begging for bread. Oh, I know it seems so hopeless, and you don't know what to pray. You've done all that you know to do, and now it seems there's just no way. And when you feel you're at the end, just remember what I said. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, their seed begging for bread. I've never seen God people with a need that he could not meet. I know that he is and his promises will be. So just hold on a little longer. The answer's soon to come. That endless waiting, it's almost over.
and the victory is almost won. And when again you feel it's joy, then you'll remember what I said. I've never seen a righteous voice singing, begging for good. I've never seen a righteous forsaken, never seen a righteous forsaken. I've never seen a righteous forsaken. Begging for good.
All right.
Mm. Amen. Amen. So that was a song that just really hit me very hard, and it kind of it hits home for me, and maybe it does for others too, because God never leaves us or forsakes us. His word states that so well, that no matter what we're going through, good times, hard times, mountains, valleys, he is always there. And he certainly proved that in my life. And when my marriage ended, surprisingly, unexpectedly, I wanted to say, back in 2009, and he was, for the next for a few years, it was kind of tough going. And but he was always right there with me. I'm sure many of your listeners and viewers can testify to different times that he's been with them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the Dallas Holmes. He some great songs that he's written.
Yeah. He's written some good ones. Stephen, what was that? What the song that another song that Praise the Lord, right? Did he write that? Yeah, that was one of his more popular songs as well. Yeah. So I've been writing and recording ever since the mid '90s, and I like to do original songs. I like to co-write songs, collaborate with other songwriters as well as my own, and cover songs. And people can find my music online. And we'll go back there in a minute to my YouTube channel, which is Paul Gibbs Music on YouTube. There's the videos are there. And then a website too, paulgibbsmusic.com is the website as well. So, but I also want to talk about Notespire music. And I was going to put on the T-shirt, but I was in a hurry and didn't. This one says Lake George, New York, which is up near Glens Falls, where I'm from. So we have when Brenda and I up there, we act like tourists, and we bought a couple T-shirts. It was anyway. So, but my good friend and music partner Nate Miller from York. Nate is from York here. He and I, about 5 years ago, formed a company called Notespire Music. And what we do is we help artists do what God has called them to do, whether it's helping to write music, helping to produce their music, helping to we do some marketing and promotion. We do video. We have video services and things like the video that you saw, and another one will be coming up here. So you want to put a plug in for that too, for Notespire Music. And of course, that website is notespiremusic.com. People can check that out. And then they're about the same time as we formed Notespire Music, I guess I had the idea first to start an online radio station. And I'm thinking, God, no, I'm a musician, not a DJ. But God said, well, you know what? You are now. So
Cool. Yeah.
So we started up a radio station we called it Notespire Radio. And
Okay.
so that's been on the air for almost 5 years, continually. It's only on the internet if people are wondering where they can find it on the air. It's not over the air, it's on the internet only.
Okay.
And it's a radio station dedicated to independent artists' music. There is more and more, independent Christian artist stations get on the air. But it's still relatively rare for a Christian artist to be able to get their songs played on the radio.
Certainly.
Certainly is,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's been like that for ages. And
Yeah,
it's like, it's just so sad. You have sort of these wonderful, talented artists, and their songs are not on the radio.
true. Very true. Yeah. Um, so we thought, you know what, we're going to try this, and we weren't kind of really sure how it was going to work out, but here, almost 5 years later, it's still going strong, and we have artists sending us music almost on a daily basis, Stephen. We're getting probably, I would say, at least 5 song submissions per week from indie artists asking for their music to be played. And you know what? Most of it actually we do. I mean, it's rare that we'll say, no, we're not going to play this. And that would be maybe because the production really, and we're not looking for perfection, definitely, but the production might not be where it needs to be,
Sure.
to the point where you really maybe you can't understand the words, or just not clear for whatever reason. Or we don't play all genres. We play most, but for example, we don't do, I mean, I know there's some good, for example, heavy metal. There is heavy metal Christian music, and it honors God, and but that we don't get into that style, or heavy urban or rap or things like that. There are stations that do that, and that's the place for that music. But if it's Southern gospel, if it's contemporary Christian, a lot of different genres that we certainly do play. So I would encourage your listeners and viewers to check Notespire Radio out. It is at notespireradio.com. I'll spell that Notespire, Notespire radio.com. And you can also find that on your phone if you want to listen on your phone. Put the earbuds in, listen while you're driving, whatever. There's a couple of apps. If people don't know about them, there's a couple of apps. One is called Live 365, and there's another one called Online Radio Box. Weird name, but it works. You can download those apps on your phone, and then just search for Notespire, and they will find that. Yeah.
Cool. And you have the radio show, Jesscott Music Hour.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
So this is an interesting, this precedes the whole radio thing. This goes back to 1996,
Okay.
when I wrote a song dedicated to a guy in my hometown of Hudson Falls, New York. He was a firefighter, and he was killed. He actually lost his life fighting a fire in that town back in 96, I think that was. And I wrote a song called A Father Like This, and I dedicated it to him. I took it to the local radio station. It was WWSC 1450 AM in Glens Falls. And I asked them if they would play it, and they said yes, they would. They didn't really do local music, but they said because of the reason it was written, they played it. And so the program director and I got talking afterwards, and I said, do you play other local artists? And he said, no. He says, but we should. We really should. He says, Paul, he says, why don't you put together a 30-minute show? I'll pitch it to the station owner, and we'll see if he likes it. So, Stephen, it took me 4 months to do that, to get my nerve up to do a radio show, because like I said before, I'm a musician, not a DJ.
Right.
But anyway, God had other, again, God, he led me to do it. And again, fast forward 11 years later in 2007, I was still doing a weekly radio show with featuring local and independent Christian artists. It was not on the internet, it was on several radio stations back then. In 2007, I think I felt God saying, okay, it's time to stop. Well, I think God knew what was going to happen in my life 2 years later. So, that kind of went by the wayside. But about 6 years ago, I forget what year it was, after moving to York, Pennsylvania, getting settled here, I had the urge again to do a weekly show. This was before we started our radio station or anything. So I called it the Jesscott Music Hour, and it's named after my kids, Jessica and Scott. And it's 1 hour each week, comes out every Friday morning, and it's on all of the major podcast sites. And it's a music show dedicated to independent Christian artists, kind of like our radio station, but 1 hour of it. Yeah, it's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you another music video.
Okay, let's do
Like
that.
to share? Yeah,
I
let's jump into that.
I apologize that I didn't go full screen before, but
Yeah.
let's do that.
All right.
This one on the screen right now, Let It Go, is my most recent. And Stephen, do we have time for one or two? If we have time for two, I'll do this one.
Yeah. Two will be fine.
Okay, so let's go with this one. This song was written by a lady here in Pennsylvania. Her name is Sona Katabjian, and she's written quite a few songs. And I asked her if I could produce and read this one here. So this is a lyric video that I put together. Again, I've recorded it and singing it. Again, written by Sona Katabjian, and this is called Let It Go. So let's see here if we can, let's get this one here.
Stuck in eternity, and I can't seem to get too comfortable down here, 'cause it's not where I was made to be. And whenever I try down some roads, settle down, you know it's there. That I've got to let it go, let it go. Let it go. All the desires to go to me, this world's attractions, and its world's distractions of the and it's all God's grace. He wants me to know He's the only one who can fix This world is to go.
And that is Let It Go, written by Sona Katabjian. Yes. I love this, the part of that song that says, when we let it go, we make room for so much more. It's
Sure.
it's like this, like, you know, having our hands, you know, we let go, and God can fill our open hands with what he wants to give to us. Yeah, great message there.
Yes, 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 yes. It is. It's a really nice song.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, that is a lyric video that's on my that's from my YouTube channel. I have one more here if we'd like to share that one.
That's good.
Okay, let me get over here to okay, I got to go back to the list of videos. And nope. Okay, let's see. Whoops, not that one. Okay. People might remember the movie Hiding Place,
Mm-hmm.
and was so my wife Brenda brought this song to my attention. This song was from that movie. It was was used in that movie, and so I decided to record this one. And this is me again in the studio, uh, singing this one. So this one's probably done about the best. It's done pretty well here as far as it's been on for 3 years. It's got over 1,800 views. But so this is You Are My Hiding Place.
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 32:7 says, "You are my hiding place. You protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance." I will trust in you. I will trust in you. Let the waves say, I am strong in the strength of the heart. I hiding place. You always fill my heart with songs of healing. I will trust
Oh, that's a really nice song.
Amen. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. That was written, by the way, just so that people know, that was written by a man named Michael Ledner.
Mhm.
And the story goes, he wrote that his marriage was on the rocks, and he wrote that in a motel room, realizing, reading some scripture, and he realized, I will trust in you, Lord. You are my hiding place. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. So how can we contact you?
Well, to contact me as an artist, again, my website is paulgibbsmusic.com, and email would be paulg, paulg, at paulgibbsmusic.com. And of course, my website. I love to go out and share my music at churches and places wherever God opens the door. I will travel and love to present my music live and minister. And then also, of course, Notespire Music is at notespiremusic.com, and you can check out our website there. We love to help artists do what God has called them to do. And or send us an email. That email would be info at notespiremusic.com. And then you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Paul Gibbs Music. And of course, Notespire Music also on Facebook and Instagram. So we're all over the place, Stephen.
Awesome. 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 So when you do go and play, what are concerts l- l- like?
When I do a concert, it's a mixture of different genres. I loved, Stephen, I love the traditional hymns, and I sing in a lot of churches that are smaller with, shall we say, an older, more mature, I shouldn't say more mature. Uh, sometimes we use that term as
Season Saints.
for those senior saints. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, and so where the traditional hymns are
Sure.
sung a lot, and I just love to share those. I grew up on those songs. So a concert from me will be a mixture of traditional hymns and songs, some praise choruses, some original songs like we just heard, like that first there. Did we do it? Did one? Yeah, okay, that one. Um, I forget already, Stephen. But original music and also cover songs. And I usually will sing most of my songs to background tracks, but if I may also bring a keyboard and lead people in some of the popular praise choruses. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So, do you have advice for other musicians?
That's good, Stephen. When I'm interviewing somebody, that's the last question I always ask somebody is, what have you faced um that and that might help somebody else? So that's a good question. And to answer that, and other people have answered that when I've asked it, it might be discouragement. I think we all come up against discouragement, um and just not feeling that we're good enough, and that we call it, I like to call it the comparison trap. And no matter where I've been in my musical journey, shall we say, um, I have, especially early on, just I never felt I measured up. I've been a musician all my life, learned to play guitar, learned how to sing and things, but never felt like I was good enough. Like, or another way to put it is somebody else, most musicians, most other artists are better than me. I I've never really been able to totally shake that. Even I mean to and I'm sitting here, Stephen, watching the videos that we just saw, and part of me says, "Oh, okay, I'm happy with that. I think that came out pretty good." But there's always a part of me that says, "Oh, no, that's not that good." Especially when you see somebody else or you hear somebody else's song or video, and you're like, okay, they're so much better than me. And I think that's a voice right from the enemy trying to get us to stop doing what God is calling us to do. And
Yeah,
discouragement is a huge tool, a huge weapon that the enemy uses against us. And I think no matter where we are in our musical journey, we have to realize, okay, yes, we can always be better. We can always get better. We can always learn. We can always improve. But we should never think that where we are, okay, we're never going to be good enough, or it's not good enough to keep moving forward, to step out in what God is calling us to do. Yeah, I think that would probably be the best advice, to try not to listen to that voice, um, and just keep going, keep going. Don't let the enemy stop. Um, and the other thing I think is that to realize it's not about us.
yeah,
It's not how good we think we are, or that we believe that we are, whether it's we don't think we're good enough at all, or wherever in that belief spectrum we happen to fall. To remember, if we remember why we're doing it, that should be up here. That should be the most important thing. And the how, or the how good, should take a back seat to the why. And if we remember the why, then the how good we are really, in many ways, it doesn't matter, because we're doing it for the Lord, and He will use us if we just will step out, and He'll use us in amazing, amazing ways. Yeah, I think that would
sure,
be, well, yeah.
sure. Yeah, a lot of musicians are perfectionists.
Yeah.
They really get it right, but I mean, it's just that we're human.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just have to trust God.
I like, yes, trust God, and I like how Charles Stanley always said it, just step out and trust God, leave all the consequences to him. I love the way he put that. Yeah, to trust God we can trust God with our gift, whatever gift it is, we'll trust him to use it. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to thank you for coming on. Any last words?
Well, I want to thank you, Stephen, for this opportunity to share. I interview a lot of people for Notespire Radio,
Sure.
but I very seldom get a chance to be on the other end of the microphone. So I appreciate that very much, Stephen.
Certainly.
So, and I want to thank your listeners, your viewers for what they do as well, because our gifts are to be shared, and we need somebody to share those gifts with. And Stephen, you're helping to give artists that opportunity, and we appreciate that very much.
Certainly. One more question.
Sure.
Uh, and what's ahead for you?
Okay, what's ahead? I've got 3 or 4 more new songs that I'm working on as an artist myself, that will be released in the next 3 or 4 months. We've got I don't have any singing engagements on the calendar right now, but I think in the fall there is a couple that I'm going to be setting up. And excuse me, for Notespire, we continue to work with a couple of artists right now that we're working with, getting their music out there, and we are going to be shooting a music video, or excuse me, I'm not a promotional video for one of the local musicians here in Pennsylvania in a couple of weeks. So, and we're going to be at I think it's the Battle for Children Ministries.
Yes.
Yes, you're familiar with that.
Yes.
Nate and I will be there.
Awesome.
Do you know the date, Stephen? Is it September?
Yeah. It's normally September, so yeah. You can check out Art
Arts.
Sufegno
Okay,
for
thank
that.
you. I couldn't get
Yeah,
his name.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
So
we're going to be there
wonderful.
broadcasting. Yeah, we're going to be judges, and we're going to be broadcasting live on Notespire Radio. So we're looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, we're looking for everything that you do, and no spy, and God bless you, and good night.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless you. Good night.
Okay.